biggest standout and something that we want to do going forward is seeing youngsters come into Mumba, hopefully not escape like they have sometimes as well, but to be the breeding ground for young talent. And I think, to me, that's something that's very important, and I know it is to you as well, but seeing the faces here, I think when you look at the average age of our squad this time, it's even younger. Is that still an ambition to see youngsters flourish where we're at and release the pressure?
I'm an ambassador for young at heart, firstly, right? I mean, at my age, I can only afford to be young at heart from that point of view. So I think that's what I practice most of the time. So I'm not big on youth in terms of age. But just, I think, look at the fitness of our team today, right? If you look at that.
The Ghulam Raza factor.
Yeah, exactly. So I think fitness represents youngness. I think discipline represents youngness. I think, you know, the whole element of a team spirit represents it. And I think we're all ready for that.
Yeah, we've got our partners fasten up as well here. So thanks, Aarti, for being with us as well. Yeah, I think, you know, when you look back at some of those moments, you look back at being a champion team. What does that mean to you? Because in a team, in a league rather, that has 12 teams, it is the largest league in the country. To be one of 12, it's not easy. It's getting harder and harder. So to actually have 3 finals, to be a title-winning team, what does that mean to you who sort of came in with, like you said earlier, right? You came into Kabaddi because why not? But there's suddenly that sort of switch flicked as you became more passionate about it.
No, I think we represent Mumbai, which actually does represent a certain very strong element. You can't undernourish the fact that Mumbai is a very strong pull from all perspectives. And I think the second one is just the way we played in a team is most important. Yeah, in a 12-member team, there'll always be ranking up and down. But actually, I've seen our ratings, and I think we always feature, and when we're playing, we can see that. By reflex, we're scheduled for weekend matches because actually the Mumbai team is got a universal appeal for people to watch and get enjoy with that. So I think that's the connect we make. If you can, the team has to connect. You can be a brutal team and win, or you need to be a team that's just got everyone rooting for you, and I think that wins even bigger.
Yeah, it's amazing because you think back to those first few seasons, it wasn't a team of superstars. They became superstars, and I think that's something that we're seeing here as well, you know, creating superstars within the team as well. When it comes to creating superstars, what you guys have done with Vicky is in some sense similar. Whether
Vicky's already a superstar.
No, that's what I mean. Whether it was Uri and then now into Sam, and I know you've been a part of the big journey.
We started with him with a movie called Love Per Square Foot, and I don't know whether Vicky's here.
Not yet.
Yeah, but so I can say it while he's not here. But I'll actually say it even when he's here. But we did a movie called Love Per Square Foot, you know, where he was, when you could make out the magic he had on that screen. Yeah. And at that stage, I just felt cinema was going through its phase where it was at a crossroad of whether you would release a movie theatrically or not. So that was the first ever movie that went direct to OTT at that time, which nobody. And I think for 1 month, Vicky didn't speak to me because he was taking his theatrical movie. And then after that, we hugged because actually he got an incredible amount of fan following from around the world that he would have not have got if a movie would have just got released and then it came later on, 2 months later. So I think it's path-breaking. We've always worked with incredibly, I mean, Aditya and Uri was the first-time director.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, Anurag Basu and we've done movies. I mean, I know he used to do a lot of work with the Butts, but when we did Life in a Metro and then Barfi and then I think the magic is when you're working with people. I'm an outsider to that industry, like I'm an outsider to sport. I don't play sports. So to me, the beauty of being an outsider is you have an outsider's view. And I can tell you the outsider's view is more powerful than the insider's view.
Well said. You know, when we look at Vicky close up, and for all of you, you know, when it does release, please go and watch the movie. I've had the opportunity to see it, and it's mind-blowing. There is an air of authenticity about him. And is that something that attracted you to him, to also Kabaddi? Because there's an authenticity about the sport, right? Very different to cricket or a mainstream sport.
No, I think in Sam Bahadur, when you're playing an icon, I think authenticity is very, very important, right? And look, the US does it very well with their soft power and their brand ambassadors. In India, to me, this will be a representative movie of what soft power should be.
Yeah.
Because if you can represent your armed forces in that manner, which is formidable, smart, gentlemanly, and liberating a country like we did in 1971, just if you take all of those are major pivots. And I think that represents completely into the sport of what we're doing, completely.
when it comes to Sam Manekshaw, without giving away too much, what can you tell the audience here? We will talk a lot about Kabaddi as the event wears on. By the way, we've got a Kabaddi court here, so anyone from the media that want to try your hand at a bit of Kabaddi as well, we've got that for you. But tell us a bit about... We do have a court, and we've got our players here. If anyone wants to take them on, you're more than welcome as well. It may not end well for you, that's all I can say.
Normally they get injuries on every match. Now it's the time for you all to get injuries, I think, on every match, but yeah.
Just on Sam, what can people expect? Why is this such a special movie? Whenever you hear Vicky speak about it, there's a tremendous amount of excitement that comes from him.
I think it's an iconic movie. You know, when we say special movie, it's almost like a apology sometimes. So I'm very careful when you say special movie, because it sounds like, okay, it's not going to be gangbusters, so I'll call it special. Actually, it is an iconic movie. We very, very rarely tell stories where realism meets big screen, and I think this movie, to quite an extent, connects that. Now, it isn't the epics of what we see sometimes, and I think, you know, some of the cinema that's working today is phenomenal.